Hello everyone. We're back with another Q&A video, and many thanks to all of you who posted questions. These specific videos are a favorite among viewers. So let's get started. During your time, were celebrities still desperate to hang out with wise guys? Well, I guess it depended on the celebrity. In some cases, it was the wise guys who enjoyed the company of celebrities. Throughout history, bold groups of people have formed friendships. Did you ever meet Jackie D'Norcio? No, I never met him. He died in 2004 while I was still in prison and was an associate, I think initially with the Philly mob and then with the Lucchese's Jersey faction. He was more famously known for the movie Find Me Guilty, where Vin Diesel played him. I was away with a Spanish guy, a Latin gang leader, who was with D'Norcio in federal prison and said he was a very nice guy and extremely funny. In fact, it was his humor that won the jury over in the New Jersey case where 20 defendants were all found not guilty. Was the term front boss actually used within the life as portrayed in the media? No, not really. I've heard the term street boss used when someone was running a family in a quasi-acting position. Here's a correlating question. What was the difference between a street boss and an acting boss? Not much of a difference. An acting boss is typically put in place when the official boss is in prison or possibly hospitalized. A street boss is more or less warming the seat and keeping the day-to-day business moving. If a boss or acting boss is unable to run the family, again, usually due to being arrested or incarcerated, a street boss will take the helm, or in some instances, a panel will do the same. Was the consigliere ever involved in commission meetings? Obviously, I personally never attended one, but if we go by what's become known, yes, there have been consiglieres who attended these type of meetings. Did you ever meet Albert Gallo or other Genovese members out of Brooklyn? I've never met Albert Gallo and only met one West Side Brooklyn-based member. Did you ever meet Nicky Taloni during your time? He was around Andrew Campos and his crew. I met Nicky many years ago at the Arthur Avenue Feast in the Bronx. My associate, Pete Bartolomeo, was very good friends with him. And at the time, I believe he was looking for a union job. I knew he was around Gambino guys from the Bronx. And I believe they straightened him out. A quick story. After cooperating, I was in upstate New York working on a construction project. And a few months into it, Nicky came to the job as a labor foreman. We did run into each other and recognized each other, but he didn't say anything to me. As a result, the FBI made me leave that job. I literally parked the company truck and left my work computer and the keys in it and left. I'll be detailing more about that time frame in the near future. Very interesting and insightful to say the least. I know you mentioned before, but what was your opinion of Vinny Zappola? I'll always say the same words when describing Vinny. A very nice guy, one of the nicest I've met in that life, a gentleman. Did you ever hear any stories about the famous bypass gang from Vinny Zappola or anybody else? Besides being a nice guy, as I just mentioned, Vinny was very low-key and a man of few words. He didn't speak out of school, as they say. The bypass crew was long before my time, and I don't remember anyone ever speaking about them. When you were proposed to be straightened out, how were they able to trace back your ancestry? I have no idea. Prior to our induction, I received a call from Anthony Guzzo. At the time, I was in St. John's on vacation. Anthony was with Big John at the Lucchese Social Club up in the Bronx. And he told me that they wanted to know my mother's maiden name. Obviously, they knew my father's by my last name, but they wanted my mother's. As soon as you were inducted into that life, could you instantly be made a captain, or did you have to prove yourself as a soldier first? To begin with, a regular guy who's straightened out is not made a captain right away. He would need to show leadership capability. But in the case of a political move, a guy can be straightened out and made a captain right away. It's two different scenarios. Thoughts on the passing of Patriarcha boss Carmen D'Annunzio. I heard about it and don't really know much about him. Although I've heard something interesting about a meeting in Boston with a certain member from New York, but I'll leave it at that for now. I've heard the Bronx described as a different animal compared to all the boroughs, no matter which family a guy is with. Did you find that to be the case? I have to say, I don't know who said that or what it's supposed to mean. To your knowledge, what dealings did Paolo Lo Duca have with the Gambinos on top of being an emissary? Was he ever present for or mentioned at any meetings with Lorenzo Menino? I honestly don't know what dealings Paolo had with the Gambinos other than being a go-between. I'm sure he's met with Lorenzo, but I don't know anything specific. Given the West Side's past practice of using front bosses, do you think that Barney Bellomo is a front boss? Let me add that this person mentioned that other people have suggested this. I'm not entering that arena, or circus if you will, if that's what's being asserted. I'd rather stick with all the know-it-alls who've never spent a day in the street and their opinion. Here's a tip for viewers. Take notice that whenever I'm asked a question previously produced by other content creators, I don't answer, nor do I entertain these people or their half-baked theories. I'll leave it to viewers. Do you think he's a front boss? A guy who's gone through great lengths to remain under the radar is actually a front boss for somebody else? Let me know what you think. You mentioned in a prior video that Michael Grock was eventually chased. Was Luis Navarro also chased? Or was he still an associate with the Lucchese's up until your departure? Yes, Mikey Grock was chased by me. Then I came to find out that Anthony Guzzo put him on record with him. And this is after Anthony was going to assault him with me in a Staten Island parking lot behind a Chinese restaurant. What actually saved Grock was the fact that there was too many people coming in and out of that parking lot. As for good-looking Louie, he was another story. He wasn't with me, but on the fringes as far as an associate goes. I know he had a cousin with the West Side, and I don't think he was with him either. So to be honest, I don't really know where he stood as far as being an associate. In your video about the strip club incident, you said someone gave all the names of those involved. Can you elaborate on that? Following the incident, Joey DiBenedetto and I were summoned up to the Lucchese Social Club. During that meeting, Stevie Crea mentioned that the West Side had a paper with the names of everyone who was at the strip club that night. According to him, my name happened to be on top. And I knew immediately who provided that list. His name was Michael Rita. He was a West Side associate, but one with dual allegiance because he was very close with Matty Madonna. The night of the incident, Michael met with us, so he was the only person who had access to the West Side and could have provided our names. He was a guy who played two ends to the middle, and that came back to bite him in the ass. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take the time now and give it a like, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Anyone who'd like to show their appreciation for videos like this, or more importantly, help me to continue making them, you can donate with the Super Thanks icon down below or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. Let me quickly mention my blog, also called Sit Down News, especially for those of you who still enjoy reading. The site can be found at sitdownnews.com and is a paid subscription. And for the final question, what were your inspirations within that life? Was it purely money and respect? I didn't have any specific inspirations while entering that life. Of course, making money was essential, as it was for everyone in that life. And we all want respect and to be treated respectfully. But that wasn't my goal. Proof of that is I limited who I was being introduced to. So if respect is what you're looking for, you would want to meet as many members as possible to achieve that. My outlook at the time was that it was an honor to be considered and welcomed into a family. And I wanted to do the best I could to follow the rules and represent my family as every member does. And I did that to my greatest potential. I never had any sights on a captain or administrative position. I mainly just went with the flow. Recently, I reiterated something I've always said. You don't pick that life, it picks you. So in all honesty, back then, I was just being myself and never let my status as a member cause me to stick my chest out or to use it to take advantage of people. I was just being me with a button.